Alright guys, welcome to my game room tour for 2022. We do have some changes that have happened in the game room since the last time we did this video. I know this video is a little late, it's about a month late. I was waiting for one thing to come in, but I kind of gave up because it's taking too long, and you guys will figure that out when we talk about it later. So we'll just have to forgo that one. But the game room has had a pretty good amount of changes this year over the last 365 days. So let's go ahead and show you first a quick overview of the whole entire game room, and then of course we'll go into everything in detail.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a recce is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Alright guys, so that was the overview of the whole entire game room. There are some changes that we need to talk about, things that have changed since 2021, and some things that I'm looking to do in the future. So let's go ahead and go through all this stuff more into detail to show you guys what my things are that I have in the game room. So here is the sports wall. This was here last year. There's just obviously more stuff on the wall now. There's a lot of cool stuff here. Obviously, we're Devils fans, we're Dolphins fans. Well, my wife's a Dolphins fan. I'm a Giants and a 49ers fan. So, you know, we got a bunch of stuff on the wall here. Some stuff are signed. Some cool stuff. Brodeur, of course, hockey being my favorite sport. Brodeur's right there with his autograph as soon as you come in. We got a Mighty Ducks jersey. Who could forget about that? We got a bunch of stuff here. Like I said, I'm a 49ers fan. We got a Giants fan there. Some more Brodeur stuff over there in the corner. Bunch of Devil stuff on this side. All these bobbleheads sitting here that we've gotten from being season ticket holders. We got autographs of a lot of the team members here. A lot of cool stuff there. This is signed by I know it's hard to see in there, but this is signed. He decided to sign it in silver. But this is really cool to have that this is actually signed from the person from One Tree Hill that now Scott, I can't remember, Lucas Scott, Jesus, I couldn't remember his name. So it's really cool to have him. Like I said, it's there. It's just I don't know why he decided to sign in silver instead of maybe like something that popped. But either way, it's fantastic on there. We got a Kobe Bryant jersey up there. Rest in peace. One of my favorite my favorite basketball player of all time. Then, of course, coming down here, we enter into the movie room. We got Darth Vader right here in the entrance. Nice 3.5 foot or 3 foot figure there that talks and stuff when you walk in. Motion sensor based. Right here in the corner, if we swing around, we got the Marvel arcade machine here. This is a special edition that Arcade 1-Up came out with. This thing is a lot of fun. I have it modded with a Pi4. I have all my favorite games on here. This is obviously a fighting cab since it has the Sanwa joysticks here. Fantastic way to play your fighters on there. We got these two things on the wall. This is coming off the wall for some reason, but this is coming off the wall there. Really cool how that looks like it's actually popping out. Goes perfectly with the Marvel cabinet here. This is the arcade room, which we'll talk about later on. Here's my Marvel shrine here. This is a Japanese pachinko machine. As you can see here, this is a Japanese slot machine, and it has these little balls here that you use. These are really fun. Something you don't see all the time, and this Marvel one is fantastic. It has an LCD screen in the back, and the balls go through there, and you try to hit it into the center. You got a bunch of these things that like move around. This thing moves. You got air blown over here from you on your hands sometimes. A lot of cool stuff that this machine does, and the lights of it look fantastic, and it goes great in the Marvel collection. And then we got Iron Man Marvel figurine. That's really cool. That opens his face mask, and you can even record yourself on it and stuff. Then we have all my Disney figurines, Disney Infinity. I love the Disney Infinity characters in the game. I love Marvel Battlegrounds. If you guys have not played that, that's what makes me keep these figures around, because it's basically Power Stone with Marvel characters, and they did a good job with it right before Disney Infinity stopped releasing stuff, which was unfortunate. And then down here we have a bunch of Marvel collectibles. As you can see here, I have a bunch of autographs. I have Jessica Jones' autograph there. I have the girl from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., her autograph there. The girl from Iron Fist, got her autograph there as well. Stan Lee, his autograph sitting there, which is fantastic. Spider-Man and Iron Man mask. Some really cool stuff there. Peggy Carter, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I love that show. Wish it wasn't canceled. And we do have her autograph sitting there in the corner from Peggy Carter. So that's really cool. Spinning around over here, we got the Star Wars machine from Arcade 1-Up. This is, of course, soft modded with those, so you can play all 30 machines on here. The Williams tables and also the Marvel tables if you want. And this is my Star Wars machine. I know the Star Wars machine is really heavily sought after. This is actually modded. I modded this with a bunch of flying games, including Star Wars Battle Pod and all that stuff. And it's been fantastic. It's modded there with a Vizio soundbar for better sound, which just stays up there. And this is so much fun playing this on here. You know, we got all the usual suspects on there to play all the racing games that work well with the flight stick. Shooting back over here again, we of course got my movie room collectibles. So this movie room collectibles here. We got a bunch of different stuff here. I got this when we went to Disney. This is really cool. This is a Cars figurine, which is awesome. It actually pops up his eyes and stuff, and you can remote control him with your phone. Really cool. That's Bumblebee there. We got the Ghostbusters there. Really cool. It lights up and all that kind of stuff. Just like that. Makes the noises. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it does make all those noises and stuff. Pick this guy back up that fell out. Then we got the Back to the Future stuff here. As you can see here, I got the original letters there, even from the cafe, which is really cool. We got some other stuff down here from Terminator, from National Treasure, from Pirates of the Caribbean, from Power Rangers, from E.T. Just some of my favorite movies here that are coming up. And then, of course, my Transformer thing here. This thing is fantastic. It's the most expensive toy I own in the whole entire collection. I've done a video on this thing on my TikTok, and I've shown it off. So if you guys are not following my TikTok, make sure you do so, because I post some really cool stuff on there. Same name, Your Gaming Techie. So yeah, that thing is amazing. Then, of course, here we have the comics. I have a bunch of different comics here and some magazines as well on this rack. If you turn this around, we got some magazines chilling over here, but I have those magazines somewhere else as well. But they are here as well as for my overflow. Coming over here, this is my popcorn machine. It's snack time. We got my Epson 5040 projector that I use. And then, of course, my snow cone machine, the Vortex here, for cotton candy, the hot dog, and then, of course, a bunch of candy, all my favorites sitting there. Can't get enough of candy while you're watching movies here, of course. And then we got a Batman figure there in the corner, and, of course, my Game of Thrones shrine over here. I have a bunch of the people here who autographed this. As you can see, everybody in this picture is who autographed the picture below. House Targaryen is, of course, my favorite house, so that's exactly why. There's a little shrine here. Then we got the sign there in the background, and we do have some storage stuff that I had to put back here. I have my DDR pads back here. I have this metal DDR pad that I still got to do a review on, and some couple of board games that I still need to do a review on that you guys will definitely like, so stay tuned for that on the channel. Got a little Game Room Boulevard sign when you enter that door, and this is a blackout curtain, so when you're watching a movie, the light from the other side doesn't come through. And then here we got the Devil's Horn. This thing actually sounds off when it actually, when the Devils in real life actually score. This thing will actually go off, which is really cool. We got the top movies buckets. You basically scratch off every time you watch one of the top 100 movies. Going through that. Gaming zone, no noob sign. We got Superman here in the corner. We got the Ready Player One shrine over here. I love the Ready Player One movie, as you guys are looking at here. Ready Player One is a fantastic movie and stuff, so I love having that shrine here with all the... this guy keeps falling down for some reason. I'm going to have to glue him or something. But you got all the keys there. You even got the coin underneath him there, which is really cool. You got the Blu-ray and the books. Really, really cool. Wreck-It Ralph, we got a little shrine underneath him for Wreck-It Ralph. And then, of course, my Harry Potter poster and the little shrine underneath there from when we went to Portugal and visited the different places there. We got the sorting hat over there that actually sorts you and actually works, which is really cool. Got the whole entire 4K Blu-ray set sitting back there. So, and then we got my 3D glasses that work with the projector because I love watching 3D movies. It's what I collect the most, even though it's hard to get now in the United States and you always have to import them from somewhere else. Seems like it's a dying fad, which is unfortunate because I love 3D movies and I still buy them when I can, even if I have to import them. Got my Rock Band guitar sitting over there when I want to play some Rock Band. And then this is my newer gen shelf. So we got my 360 shelves over here on the top with some collectibles there in the front. Marvel Alliance. I got my favorites kind of sitting in the front. Alan Wake, Need for Speed Most Wanted, Sonic All-Star Racing, Batman, Split Second, Disney Infinity, and Blur. And then down here we got the PS3 collection again. Some of my favorites sitting there. The MotorStorm collection, Journey, and stuff like that. And then we got the Wii U sitting with some of my Wii U collectibles there. Super Mario 3D World, Nintendo Land, and Zelda Wind Waker. And then we got Yakuza 6, some random PS4 and Xbox games that I have over here. Obviously I bought most of my games digitally on those two platforms, so there's not a lot going on here. These are just some of the collectors that I had. So I just kind of put them here so at least they had a dedicated shelf. And then right next to that we have the Nintendo Switch, which I do collect physical games for, so there's a lot of games there. Some of my favorites sitting over there like Super Mario Odyssey, Super Monkey Ball, and Banana Blitz, and stuff like that. So that's really cool. Moving along right over here, we got the shelf with Borderlands and the chests and stuff. And then this right here, sorry with the lighting over here, I know it's going to be hard to see, but this is basically my Xbox shrine. I'm going to try and stay away from the light so you guys can see in there. The top shelf is, of course, dedicated to Gears of War. We have some signatures there, everyone on the Gears of War team who signed, including Cliffy B's on that poster there, which is really cool. We got Dom who signed that pop there, which is really cool. My next shelf there is, of course, Halo, as you can see there. My next shelf, which I really like this shelf, is my Rockstar Shelf. There's a lot of different cool collectibles in there. Table tennis showing off their games, Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption Domino set. You got the Nintendo DS Chinatown, you got Vice City, Max Payne, a lot of different collectibles on there. The iFruit, a lot of different stuff from their past games, which is awesome. And then my last shelf is just a mishmash of other Xbox 360 properties that I really like playing on the 360. I like the BioShock record back there, like the 0 Hour faceplate from the faceplate that we used to all get obsessed with on the 360, stuff like that. Moving along here, we got some my 3 main posters for the 3 different systems that are here, which is Xbox with the Halo series being my favorite game on the Xbox, and then we got Super Mario Odyssey, one of my favorite games on Nintendo, and then The Last of Us, one of my favorite games on the PlayStation side. And then in the center, of course, we have my main consoles. You can see there. I have what I try to do, since I don't have a limited room, is I always try to collect one special edition when they come about, of course, for every platform that I like the best. Because obviously there's so many special editions that it's hard to keep up. So I try to collect the ones that I like the most. So you can see I got the Wii U Zelda one sitting there in the corner. Of course, that's the regular Xbox Series X sitting there. We got the Animal Crossing one sitting right there with the Blu-ray player underneath. And then we got the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5 sitting right there in the corner. And then we got the Special Edition PS4 Spider-Man. Then we got my Denon receiver, which controls all the speakers around here, of course. We got the Halo Xbox, and that is modded with like a 2 terabyte hard drive with all my original Xbox games on there, including some other stuff. And then I got the PS2 Slim sitting there. We got the Star Wars Xbox 360 Connect sitting there. We got the Final Fantasy Special Edition Japanese PlayStation 3 system, center channel, of course, and then my purple GameCube themed with Pokemon XD on it. Over here, of course, we got the PlayStation 3. The PlayStation section. So you can see on the top, I have Twisted Metal and Ratchet and Clank, some toys up there. We got The Last of Us Part 2 statue there. This first one is, of course, dedicated to Naughty Dog. There's a lot of cool stuff on there, especially that book there in the back, which goes through their whole history, which is fantastic, really hard to find. The Last of Us comic book, a bunch of different stuff. The Brick, Crash Bandicoot, Uncharted, a bunch of different stuff from their history sitting there, which is awesome to have there. The next shelf, of course, is the God of War shelf. God of War, another one of my favorite franchises on the PlayStation. And then Kingdom Hearts. I love Kingdom Hearts, especially, and obviously they were originally exclusive on the PlayStation, so I created this shelf here. I love the Kingdom Hearts series. As a huge Disney fan myself, of course, I would be a huge Kingdom Hearts fan. And then the bottom shelf is the same thing. This is a mishmash of other things on the PlayStation that I like. You got the PlayStation VR glasses to remember the VR. You got Horizon. You got Spider-Man, the Daily Bugle back there. Killzone figures, Infamous, all that kind of stuff sitting in that corner. Moving on, of course, over here we got the Mighty Ducks poster sitting here, and then we got the Star Wars, and then we got the Transformers poster there, and then we got my stuff over here in the corner. So right here on the left is where all my shirts go when I rotate them and stuff like that, when I have shirts to wear during videos, or gaming shirts that kind of sit right there, hidden away in the corner. And over here are all my figurines for things. So the top shelf is all dedicated to Star Wars. There's a lot of cool stuff on this shelf. This figure right here is from the 80s. So is this one right here, which is really, really cool that they're actually from the 80s, that I recently got from a friend, which is awesome. We got a bunch of different figurines over here representing the Star Wars timeline, as you guys are seeing there. And then if we go down here, I kind of just made each of these shelves dedicated to something that I really like. So the first one here is kind of a mishmash right now of just Disney stuff. Since I'm a huge Disney fan, we got some random Disney stuff from when we went to Disney trips. We got a VHS tape from the Disney times. We got a Mickey mask when we had to wear those masks when we went to Disney the past year, which we will be going again this year. So look forward to that. We'll be on the Disney Wish. And then on the next shelf, it's a DC dedicated shelf. So we got Batman and Wonder Woman sitting right there, and a bunch of other stuff there. The next shelf is dedicated to Pixar. Love Pixar and love their movies, so we got a bunch of stuff there representing Pixar. And then horror shelf, because I love horror movies, so this is a shelf dedicated to horror and all my favorite horror movies. This is a shelf dedicated to TV shows, because I still have a bunch of DVDs and stuff collecting TV shows. Stranger Things, one of my favorite TV shows, so I dedicated a whole entire shelf to that with a bunch of cool stuff there. Even had that signed as well up there. This is a shelf just dedicated to two of my favorite movies. So we got a Transformers figure and the Titanic. We even got the Heart of the Ocean sitting right there and a little Titanic sign right there showcasing that, which is pretty funny. And then two of my other favorite movies, Avatar and Jurassic Park, sitting right there with the figurines. Coming over here on the shelf, we have a bunch of Disney Infinity of the story modes and Battleground stuff that I was talking about before. I love that game. There's a lot to do in that. So we have that dedicated there. And over here, Mickey Mouse watching over, because I figured he would be in a good position there to watch over the movies. And this is my iPad that I have on the wall. This basically controls everything in the room. Basically, if you open this up, you can just hit like play Xbox or something. And if you hit play Xbox, it will basically turn on the projector, lower the screen while you're watching a movie here, turn on whatever it needs to, turn off the lights, and it's really easy to set up and get going with different systems. So that's all programmed with this around the room, which is great. One of the things that I added recently here is, of course, the butt kicker, and I did a video on this on YouTube as well. Butt kicker is basically, think about it like a sub, which I do have a sub in this room for the speakers, but these subs actually go underneath the seats here. So when effects happen in movies and games, you actually have your seats rumble, kind of like they do in Disney and stuff. It works super, super well. One of my favorite upgrades I did to the movie theater this year. Watching movies is way more scarier because you feel things underneath you, and playing games like Call of Duty is just way more immersive with these seats. So we have that there, and of course these are my movie seats, as you guys are seeing here, and some of my controllers that I use for the main systems that are played on here. And then, of course, I have my surround sound like I talked about before. We got the speakers there in the corners. We have the speaker here on the left. And then, of course, we have the speakers on the ceiling as well. So I do have Dolby Atmos sitting on the ceiling, so you get the effects from the top if it's raining and stuff like that in movies. Dolby Atmos is in full effect here. So it's a fantastic setup to watch movies and play games. So that basically covers everything in the movie room. So let's go ahead and switch over to the game room side of things. There's a lot going on in here as well. Here on this side, of course, is my retro gaming setup for PC. And I love this setup because there's a lot going on here. I have my Alienware down there, like the Alienware that I always wanted as a kid. And this one basically has Windows XP on it, which is what's turned on here. And you can see I even have AIM ready to go on there for all you guys, Winamp and all that stuff. All my games installed on there through CDs, just like we all did back in the day. And then I have this top machine on here, and this is Windows 98. And DOS, so I can easily just press the switch I have in the back there, and the monitor rotates between either that machine or the Alienware PC, and I can play all the games from XP era, or almost all the games, because there's always going to be some compatibility issues, but a lot of the games from the XP era, from Windows 98, and from DOS on both of these machines. And you can see I have a bunch of different classic games on here. This is kind of supposed to be like the desk that I always had as a kid, which is, you know, what I wanted to make it look like. I have these Logitech speakers, the ones that everyone always still loves, which I do have, and I have the other surround sound speakers there on the floor. These speakers are fantastic, and it's what I had as a kid back then, so I figured they would be perfect for this setup. This also, like I said, it's a desk to remind me of all the things that I had when I was a kid on my desk. So I have like a phone over here that still works. I have my CD player, my cassette player, this thing that still works. Nothing I have in my game room doesn't work. I hate having things that don't work. Sabicos, I don't know who remembers those. Before, you know, things were like iPhones were popular and stuff. Those things were crazy. I have 3 of those. A bunch of different stuff around here to kind of make me get in the mood when I'm sitting down here and just reminiscing about the 90s and playing games from the 90s. You know, obviously I have the Logitech G19 from back in the day for XP when I play, and then I have an old retro keyboard sitting right there that I rotate out when I'm playing Windows 98 or DOS, and I plug that in instead. Same thing with the mouse. This is the mouse I use, the Logitech one that everyone's famous for loving back for the XP days, and then I have this one for Windows 98 when I have the Windows 98 plugged in. So this kind of gets switched in and out depending on what I'm playing. Bunch of other stuff here. We got the floppy, we got the Sidewinder over here. That's just my router that I recently got. And we got the Palm Pilot sitting over here. We got some floppy disks. A lot of stuff from my childhood era, and a lot of good games to play here. Underworld Tournament and Command & Conquer, Red Alert 2, some of my favorites, and of course The Sims and Doom being pronounced up there. Bunch of different games up there. Of course, everyone as a kid had like posters of their favorite, like, you know, their favorite people from actresses and stuff like that. So as you can tell, so do I. Topanga there in the corner and stuff like that. Britney Spears and stuff like that. So cool to have this set up here in the corner to kind of reminisce of the 90s PC area. And of course, here's my retro setups over here. I have my shelves. What I'm concentrating on currently is actually collecting games for every shelf that I really wanted that are more expensive. So not just games that are expensive, but games that I actually want from my childhood that I may just not have yet. And I'm going through each collection and at least having a couple of those to kind of show off on the front. So I haven't started with this shelf yet. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about when we get to the GameCube section. But you can see here we got my Virtual Boy collection. Got Intellivision there in the corner. And I am doing a new series on TikTok as well and Instagram. So again, make sure to follow me on there. That basically every time I get a new game, I'll basically talk about the game, show it off, and tell you guys what's been added to my collection and kind of talk to you guys the history of the game. So definitely something to check out if you guys are interested in seeing that, because I don't get enough games to make a whole video on it every like month, but TikTok is a good place for that stuff. NES collection there. We got my Sega Genesis collection there. So that's really cool. Over here we got my Nintendo shelf, just like I did with the other two shelves. This is all dedicated to my Nintendo shelf. We got Pokemon Mini up there, you know, a bunch of different stuff. And then we got a Mario dedicated shelf here. The two Nintendo Powers, the first issue and the last issue, which is great. Then we got a Zelda dedicated shelf, of course. Then we got a Pokemon shelf dedicated, of course, with the yellow, the red, and the blue, which is fantastic. My 2DS back there, Pikachu. Then we got another mishmash of just random Nintendo stuff that I've collected, like the Mario shoes, like the Game & Watch, like Luigi's Mansion and stuff like that over here. Coming over here, more collections of different games. We got the Sega Saturn, the Sega CD, Sega 32X sitting up there. So this is what I'm talking about here. Like on the Sega Saturn, for example, I've collected certain games that I really wanted to show off in the front that are not just expensive, but games that I've always wanted. Like, for example, I have Bomberman on here and Guardian Heroes and Three Dirty Doors, because those are my favorite games on the Saturn, so it's great to have them on here. And then we got the Super Nintendo sitting over here, as you guys are seeing there. A bunch of good games there, like Donkey Kong, Turtles in Time in the Box, and stuff like that. More Super Nintendo games over here. Then we got the N64, we got the Mario Party series there in the box, Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2, and my PlayStation games sitting down below. Again, some of the Marvel vs. Capcom, Puyo Puyo, Resident Evil, 2-on-2 Open Ice, we got Castlevania Symphony of the Night sitting there, the Twisted Metal series, a lot of good games on there. So these are the shelves I actually started to work on first. When I was talking about like getting games that I wanted for each individual area, and Dreamcast was one of my first ones that I did. So you can see I have a lot of heavy hitters on here: Power Stone 2, Power Stone 1, Marvel vs. Capcom, Heavy Metal, Tech Romancer, Sonic Adventure, Cannon Spike. A lot of heavy hitters on here, and more in the back there to show off. So my Dreamcast collection is great where it is right now. And then I moved on to the GameCube shelf. This one is also done because I got the games that I wanted the most that I was missing. Disney Sports, being a huge Disney fan, I wanted the entire sports series. Disney Basketball, Disney Soccer, Disney Skateboard, and Disney Football. I have the whole collection there. A lot of heavy hitters on the GameCube. GameCube's gotten crazy expensive, and I own a lot of the things that I want. I don't have everything, of course, but a lot of the heavy hitters that I wanted I now own on there. Here on the Game Boy shelf, you can see I actually added some stuff on here. This is my heavy hitter on here that I've been wanting for a while, that I literally just got right before filming this video, which is the Pokemon trading card game there. And then the Nintendo DS shelf and the 3DS shelf there. You can see there's a lot of DS games that I have there, heavy hitters, especially that one over there. Little Red Riding Hood Zombie Barbecue is a great game. Metroid Prime Hunters is great. A lot of heavy hitters on there. There's one more I want to get for the DS before I think my DS collection's in a good spot. And then, of course, my 3DS collection with the 3DS Zelda and Super Smash Brothers, and my DS collections over there. Coming over here, we have the PlayStation Vita. Some great games on there. We got my two Vitas over here. We got my two PSPs and my PSP Go sitting there in the corner. A lot of these systems are modded. I forgot to say, like the 3DS one is modded with all my games on it. 2DS has a flash cart for it in case I want to play like 2 players and I want to have 2 copies of every game. Same idea here on the PSP. I don't want to own 3 copies of every game to play local multiplayer, what the PSP was known for. So I just have 2 of them modded, and one of them will use the real disc and the other 2 are modded, so you can play those games on there, which is great. Same thing with the Vita. These 2 are, one of them is modded, and then I use the other one. This is the OLED, and this is the slim model. And then I got the Wii right here. The Wii had a lot of great games that people don't like to give itself credit for, but Excite Bites, Zelda, the Metroid Prime Trilogy Collection. I have Donkey Kong Kingdom, that's a good one there. Mario Galaxy series and stuff like that. My Wii collection's in a good spot as well. I have a lot of the games that I want. Moving over here on my glass shelf. This one is not completely done yet, but it is my Sega shelf. This is the last one I started doing. It has progressed, but there's still some more stuff I need to get. These top 3 shelves are done. We got the Sonic collection up there showing that off. This shelf looks good with more Sonic going on here at the bottom. A lot of cool collectibles sitting there. From the 30th anniversary, the 10th anniversary coin, and stuff like that, representing all the different Sonic games from back in the day. And then my Genesis shelf, as you can see here, this one is complete. It has a lot of cool collectibles here. Mutant League Hockey baseball cap, which is really cool. Then the next one is my Sega CD and Sega Saturn. This one still needs some more stuff, but you can see what's going on there with my Sega shelf. And then my last one that needs a few more things as well is my Dreamcast collection. This thing is fantastic. That Crazy Taxi thing does work. I have a remote for it sitting there. You can actually control it and play it, which is really cool. This is my PlayStation 2 shelf, as you guys are looking at here. Some great games on here. Def Jam Fight for New York, God of War 2, Silent Hill 3, great games. The Ratchet & Clank series, Spyro, Sly Cooper. You know, all the games that I have in front of these shelves are obviously some of my favorites, or just games that are rare that I want to show off to other people who come over. Jack series, Amplitude, stuff like that. And then, of course, my original Xbox shelf here. Battlefront, Halo series, Grand Theft Auto, Stubbs, Outrun Coast to Coast, Marvel, Conker's Reloaded. Bunch of great games on there. And then a bunch of art books there in the corner, not much going on there. And then this just has all my controllers for all the different systems that I need that I play over here. So that's a lot going on here. This is my retro TV. This is a 32-inch Triniton TV where I play all my retro systems that you guys are seeing here. I got everything that I want. I don't have every single retro system, but I have the ones that I care about. As you guys are seeing here, I have the Atari, I have the NES, the Super Nintendo, the N64 Pikachu edition, the GameCube, another original Xbox when we want to play LAN. I have like 3 or 4 original Xboxes in the house, and a few Xbox 360s when we have LAN parties here that we still do, which is why there's so many TVs in this house. PlayStation 2, the Dreamcast there in black. You know, everything that I would need is here. Every single system that I would want is already here. And then right next to that, we have a bunch of different collectibles here from the 90s. These things are cool because every time you change the channel, they made like a weird like comment and stuff, like Beavis and Nobody, like, hey, change the channel, that's garbage, you know, stuff like that, which is really, really funny. Then we have these lights here that you can turn on. I think they're off right now, but you can turn them on and it makes the Mario like one-up noise, which is really cool. I have 2 of them going around the neon light game room sign. I have a Zelda stuff back there, Zelda poster. And then here is my 3D PlayStation, my 3D PlayStation TV, I should say. So I actually play the PlayStation TV. I have a PlayStation 3 back there, and I play the PlayStation on here to play 3D games. I have the glasses sitting in the back there, and I can play 3D. Like I said, I love. Just turn that sound off so you guys can hear me better from this Mario Kart machine. But yeah, I love playing the PlayStation 3, and I love 3D games, so I had to get the 3D PlayStation TV that we all remember from back in the day, and it works fantastic. And then underneath I have a VCR and DVD, so sometimes I watch VCRs, VHS tapes over here, and sometimes DVDs over here, or sometimes over there. It depends on what I'm in the mood for. And then this computer here, so many computers in this house as you guys are probably looking at, and you'll see even more. This computer here is for the Mario Kart machine that I recently got. This thing is fantastic. I've always wanted a racing build in my home, and this is themed to Mario Kart, so I figured it goes perfectly right in the retro area full wheel, full pedals and stuff like that. And as you guys are seeing there, it has games from every single system. It's a racing build with like over 200 games. PlayStation 3, Xbox, Dreamcast. We got Windows games. I've done a full review of this as well to show you guys everything that's on here. But Dreamcast, Xbox, N64, Nintendo Switch games, even everything that you could want to play on racing builds is on here. And a lot of them even work with the force feedback of the wheel. Not all of them, but a lot of them do, because it is a force feedback. But one of the coolest things that I added, that I also talked about in a separate video, is I also added a butt kicker here. So the same philosophy that I had in the movie room, I have a butt kicker underneath the seat. So every time you're playing the games, not only do you have the force feedback from the wheel, but you also feel your seat rumble to the actual sound effects of the game, so which is really, really cool. And this thing, of course, does light up. I just have it turned off right now. The Mario Kart sign over here is just not turned on, but this does light up and it looks fantastic. I just forgot to turn it on before this video. Before we disappear from this corner, let's go ahead and just talk about some of the arcade games in this corner. This is a Pac-Man machine that's modded with a Pi as well, and it has all the different games that you can play, like on a cocktail machine like this, like Pac-Man when you rotate back and forth, or Donkey Kong and stuff like that. So there's 2 seats on either side, so that's really fun. We got the Pong Machine from Arcade 1-Up. This is a really, this is my most played machine in the house. Every time people come over, 4 people gather over this, and instantly. It's a lot of fun. Warlords and Pong is a lot of fun with 4 players. And then, of course, I still have my Devils versus Rangers bubble hockey machine, which is fantastic. And of course, these 2 chairs that are used to play the retro games on these 2 TVs sitting right here. Here behind me is a board game shelf, just for over board games that I had to put somewhere that I didn't want to get rid of. So there's a couple more spots here and a couple of board game stuff sitting on the top for decoration over there in the corner. And then we got a fridge right next to, you can see Saved by the Snacks there in the corner. We got a fridge here, and this is my 90s snacks when everyone comes over and we play board games. I have a bunch of 90s snacks like Slim Jims, Rice Krispies, Bottle Pop, Dunkaroos, of course, Fun Dip. Then we got Ritz Bites, we got 3D Doritos, we got Pop Rocks, stuff like that. And then even in the fridge, I have a bunch of stuff too from the 90s, like Capri Sun, Yoo-Hoo, those red drinks, those classic Coca-Cola cans. And then on the freezer there, which I can't open right now, but the freezer has ices as well, and stuff like that. And I have that all decorated to the 90s fridge, so really cool. Of course, here is my board game collection. I love board games. I love having people over to play board games. I have like I think I have like over 250 games in my collection for board games. And you can see there's a lot going on all the way to that edge, all the way here. And there's obviously my favorite ones are sitting in the front, which is what you're looking at here. These are my favorite ones that I like to play, and new ones and stuff like that. But there's a whole row behind each one of those as well. So a lot of different board games. And this is my new board game table with my actual sign in the front, which came out fantastic. This is from Game Theory Tables. I did a review on them. And if you guys want to buy these tables, I urge you guys to check out my review, because there's a lot of good information on there. But so far, I'm loving the table. They have accessories for each of the corners, like dice towers and stuff. I love the middle here. I love the fact that it's indented. I love the fact that I got rid of my poker table, because it was just not working, because I wasn't really a poker player. I got it because it made the most sense, because it was the cheapest table that I can buy that worked for a board game table. But this is obviously a true board game table, and I'm really happy to have it. It even has USB ports there on the bottom for everyone to charge their phones. It has these little indentations for people to put their cards and accessories when they want to, and stuff like that, which is really cool. And these games are sitting here because these are my games that I'm recently adding to the collection that I just received that I had not done TikTok videos on. So they're sitting here for me to remind myself to do them. Here on top of the board game collection, we have 3 computers, and these are not just regular computers. These are obviously arcade computers. So we got the Mega Touch here, if you guys remember these from the bar. It's basically a Linux machine, and it has a bunch of iPad-style games that they used to have in the bar before iPads were a thing. There's a lot of classic games on that Mega Touch that everybody remembers. Same thing with the JVL. JVL was the competition to the Mega Touch, and this is the same concept but a bigger screen and an HD screen, and it had a lot of different games on there as well. The one in the middle is a similar system to the other 2, but this is a homemade with like Android games and stuff like that. I actually got this from Game Case Arcades, check them out if you haven't already. This is fantastic. It has a lot of Megatouch style games on a newer PC that you can buy from him, and have a lot of touchscreen games and quiz games and stuff like that, which is what the Megatouch is known for. So really good stuff there. And then underneath I have Drop Mix. I love Drop Mix. I've done a video review on this as well. It's too bad that it didn't continue selling and more cards aren't coming out anymore, but I still have mine and I love playing with mine on the iPad. And then we got a dartboard on the top. I had this dartboard a while ago. Obviously, the dartboard is not really used anymore. I got to figure out what to do with this, because obviously, even though these are soft tip, I'm not really going to have someone throwing darts right next to my monitor and screens here. So it's kind of just there because that's what was there before these screens were here. So I got to figure out where this might go in a better spot so people can actually play it. Because the spot it's in now, obviously no one really plays it because the screens are all over the place in front of it. So here's my computer setup as you guys are looking at here. This is my... So there's two computers here. Again, like I said, there's a lot of computers in this house. I was not kidding. So on the left is my Origin PC. This is my main machine. It has my 3080 in it, and this is where I game and use that big monitor right here. This is a 48-inch LG C1. I know it's huge, and I've done a video on this too, but I love it. Playing Halo Infinite and stuff, and having... It's basically the best monitor you can play because it's 120 hertz. It has an HDR. It's an OLED. So you basically got everything you want in a monitor. It's just bigger than normal for half the price of what monitors cost. So it's fantastic. So that's my Origin PC that I use for that. The one on the right I can use for that PC too, but theoretically the right monitor is for this PC right here. And this is my 3D Vision machine. I've talked about 3D Vision the last couple of years on what the current state is, and things are still progressing well. I love NVIDIA 3D Vision, if you guys remember that from back in the day, even though I stopped supporting it. I have this PC specifically for it because it can only go, for right now at least, there's some inklings that there may be things progressing in the future, but for right now, the 2080 Ti is the best thing you could put in there because it doesn't work with the RTX, or at least not every game yet works with the RTX. So I have a machine kind of just stuck in the 2080 Ti, and also with the specific drivers that last worked with those cards, and kind of just have a dedicated 3D Vision machine. And I have the glasses sitting right there. I love 3D Vision. I love playing games. There's nothing... If you guys have never experienced 3D Vision back in the day, it's too bad because it's really, really good. It's even better. Playing 3D PC games is way better than what you remember seeing like in a cinema, because they really pop out in your face, and it's just really, really fun. Then, of course, I got my Marvel chair there, as you guys are looking at. And can't forget that I have my HTC Vive Pro sitting right there, which is my main headset that I use for PC right now. And then I have my Oculus Quest sitting right there, the Oculus Quest 2, which I use here as well. And then I have another TV sitting over here, and this TV is used for when people are playing Kinect games. As you can see, there's a Kinect. There's, a PlayStation camera back there. So we have this whole entire room over here in the carpet that we kind of just dedicate to either playing VR, and I move some stuff out of the way, or playing Kinect games like Dance Central and stuff like that. There's a lot of good Kinect games that people don't remember from back in the day, and I love playing those, and we have a lot of room here, so that's what this TV is dedicated for, essentially, is for playing games like that that are camera-based or need more room, like the Nintendo Switch. I have a Nintendo Switch sitting back there, modded with all the games that I have sitting right there. And then I have an Xbox One sitting there. I have another original Xbox for LAN play that this TV is also used for when we do LAN. All that kind of stuff. And then moving along right into here is my 90s wall. I love the 90s. If anybody who knows me knows that. I do a lot of 90s stuff on TikTok as well, and even on this YouTube channel as well. And my collection has, of course, grown from the last time you guys seen this video. There's a lot going on here. Let's start off here in the corner. Do you guys remember this show, The Jersey? That is what I have going on this Disney TV. So I use this TV to play all my Disney Channel or Disney stuff like Boy Meets World, Lizzie McGuire, So Weird, Bug Juice, The Famous Jet Jackson, So Weird, and The Jersey. And some of these DVDs, of course, I had to make myself because unfortunately they don't actually... They didn't release everything. Like this Jersey, unfortunately, you can't even find every episode online. I have a lot of the episodes, but not all of them, because they're impossible to find every single one. But I made the DVD with the Jersey, and I made a couple of other ones as well. But when they do exist, I do buy them. On this TV here is the Ninja Turtles one. I use that to play all my Nickelodeon-related stuff. So I have all my Nickelodeon DVDs sitting on top of it, like Gullah Gullah Island and stuff like that. And I also use that to play the Ninja Turtles thing that you see right there that you can plug into the front, like the little TV things that you can always plug in. I have those there as well that I can play from old school memories. Starting from the top here, you got Smallville, you got Buffy the Vampire, you got my Boy Meets World Shrine. Of course, my newest addition is Topanga, who signed this for me, which is fantastic, even dedicated to me. Which is awesome. I got Boy Meets World. Corey signed the actual script to Boy Meets World. That's my favorite scene from Boy Meets World. Long Waltz to Pittsburgh. So that's why I have that sitting right there as that memory. A lot of cool stuff in this area. SpongeBob, CD player, you know, the RC cars that everyone loved back in the day. A bunch of Star Wars figures from the 80s and 90s. A lot of cool stuff. Rosie O'Donnell saw that in Nickelodeon magazine. All these Nickelodeon toys and all these things that are everywhere. We got some VHS tapes up here. We got the Video Now sitting up there, those discs and stuff like that. Some classic board games from the 90s. This is all my 90s board games that are sitting over here. There's some really good stuff here. And then we have this shirt here, which is really cool. This is signed by everybody who was part of the Kids' Choice Awards. And I believe it was 1999 or 2000, but Amanda Bynes is on there, as you can see. Nickelback is on there. Keenan and Kel are on there. A lot of people signed that shirt. There's actually some signatures on there that I don't even know who they are. There's a couple that I don't know because I can't recognize the signatures, but a lot of good stuff on there. And then we have Nickelodeon TV shows, like I said, Gullah Gullah Island, Amanda, Alex Mack, My Brother and Me. That's a good one. Really hard to find DVD nowadays. A lot of cool stuff. We got Disney Adventure Magazine. We got Nickelodeon Magazine. Look at all those Disney Adventure ones that we have. We have a bunch of Nickelodeon magazines there in the corner. We have the Nickelodeon boombox sitting there. We got the Goosebumps book, Little Pet Shop, WWE, back in the day DVDs, the Big Comfy Couch, Power Rangers. We got my Pokemon Shrine over here. Who remembers the Beckett Power Rangers magazines that we all used to get? I got my Pokemon collection sitting right there. I almost have 151 complete. I'm still working on that. The 2-player starter kit is full in there. The full TV show, the Pokédex, all that stuff. We got autographs from the Red Ranger. We got autographs there from Peter from Jumanji. Donatello signed that. Just a bunch of cool stuff everywhere. We got a Sidekick sitting up there. We got the Pokemon training video, Mary-Kate and Ashley VHSs. Nerf guns, TV shows, a bunch of stuff. This is also really cool because I just got this. This is from Halloween Town, and she signed this to me as well, which is really, really cool. And I got this signed as well from one of my other favorite shows. This is Step by Step, signed by her, and her name's escaping me right now, but she's signed there in the corner. So here in the center, like I said, is my rug. This is what I use for VR when I just move stuff out of the way real quick, so there's not a lot going on in the middle, or when I play that TV and have games being played on here. So I just have a little couch here that kind of people can lay on. This is a nice beanbag chair, some controllers, and some storage area right here, and then of course my infinity game table right here that I've done a lot of video reviews on that I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen. Basically a digital board game table, which is sitting right there. So that is everything in this room. Hopefully I didn't miss anything too important. If I missed anything, of course, you guys can always leave those questions down below. Oh, and actually I forgot that, but I also have these from One Tree Hill that are also signed to me. You can see there from Bethany, which is fantastic. And Remember the Babysitter. So those are both signed to me too, which is really, really cool. So let's go ahead now and go into the arcade room. I think the arcade room probably has the most actual changes to what it was like last year, because we got rid of the fridge, and that's obviously a big deal that we have no more fridge anymore. But here is the arcade room. So the fridge used to be there, but now we have more arcades in the room instead. So let's talk about it. We got the Rec Room Masters. We got the Rec Room Masters vertical cab here. So this is where all my vertical games are played. Things like Donkey Kong and Pac-Man that make more sense to play in this form factor. Then we got these Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition from Arcade 1UP with online play. The only thing I modded out of this one is I modded all these buttons and arcade sticks, so these are upgraded to HAP buttons and HAP arcade sticks. And then we got the famous Tron machine that looks fantastic. I always forget to turn on the light that's in the back. because I always forget it exists. But yeah, that looks fantastic, lit up there. They did a really good job with that Tron machine. We got a Flynn's arcade machine there. We got my disco lights. And then we got one final spot, at least right now, that I have waiting, and that was a machine that I was waiting for to do this video, but it's taken too long. It's basically a Guitar Hero machine that I'm really excited to get. Guitar Hero / karaoke machine / DDR that is going to go right here, and I can't wait for that to come in to do a video for you guys. So that'll be coming soon, hopefully. We got my Outrun machine here with the Street Fighter figures there on the top. This is modded with the PC inside, so this can play all my racing as well, all the stand-up racing with the pedals there. And here is my arcade sitting here in the corner. Galaga sign. This is a speaker that I use for playing some music when I want to, and that's my jukebox that I use to play that music. It's all touchscreen based and has my jukebox and everything on there, and my high scores thing that I've talked about in a video before, which is really cool, where everybody can go in there and kind of just put in a high score of everything that I have in my game room and be kind of on a leaderboard, which is really cool. And this, of course, is my main machine. I don't know why it's frozen where it is right now, but either way. This is a machine here that's a lot of fun. It has everything on here. It has PC games, Technoparrot, like N64, everything. Like 70,000 games are on this machine. And those are my wireless karaoke mics that I use currently on this machine until that other machine comes in. This is also from Rec Room Masters. It came out fantastic. It's Street Fighter themed since my wife is a really big Street Fighter fan. This is really cool. That's my Mortal Kombat sign. That's the jukebox I was talking about. This is a 3D fan, and I know in the video it looks like that fan is spinning and you can see it spinning, but in real life you can't actually see it, and it just looks like a 3D image, which is really cool. We got the Neo Geo machine that actually has the Hilo X hack on there, as you can see. We got the NBA Jam machine from Arcade 1-Up. This is modded to have all the four-player games on there, and everything is lit up there with the buttons. So really fantastic to have a 4-player machine. Pac-Man LEDs, open arcade sign. Buck Hunter from Arcade 1-Up. Haven't done any mods to this one. It plays fantastic. It's a lot of fun. This is my shooting cabinet. So this has all of the shooting games on it. The thing that I use here is with Gun for IR, which is what those are, and it works fantastic. I love Gun for IR, and it makes playing these games so much fun. I got the machine itself, and the build is actually from Retro Lizards Arcade, and he helped me with the build, and he still helps me to this day when there's issues. He's fantastic as well. Definitely check him out if you guys are looking for a gun build. He also did, I almost forgot to mention, the Mario Kart machine you guys saw before. That was from, the actual build is from Buy Stuff Store, but the actual system and everything, and the computer and everything, that was also done by Retro Lizards Arcade. So check those guys out for sure, because it's fantastic. Golden Tee 3D Golf. This is another one. This is my latest one from Arcade 1-Up. This has online play for all the Golden Tees. Or not online play, but leaderboard support. Which is really fun to play, as you can see there. And that's that machine sitting there. Golden Tee gets a lot of use. And then my Game Room Solutions pinball machine. So you guys are seeing retro play on here. That is because I got, and I still got to do a video on this, I got his build, or his hard drive for pinball to kind of be a starting point for my builds. And it's really easy to work with. Pinup Popper. I changed it from last year. Last year I was using something else, Pinball Emporium, and unfortunately that thing has kind of gone to the wayside. So I went to Pinup Popper. I found this, and there's a lot of things I want to talk about here, but everything is good so far with this machine. But I'll do a separate video on that with retro play soon to come. But this thing is fantastic. I have over 400 tables, or I think it's 500 now at this point. And it's so much fun to use. I have surround sound. I have the virtual plunger there. I have solenoids inside. It's a fantastic build. So yeah, that is currently where my arcade stands right now. There's a lot going on in here, I know, and a lot of cool stuff to show off here. I think the only thing, I think that kind of covers everything in this video for my game room tour of 2022. I hope you guys enjoyed everything, and as always, guys, if there's something that I missed that I didn't show, or I might have skipped over by accident, leave those questions down below, and I'll definitely help you guys out with that on whatever you guys want to know. So that is everything that I wanted to show you guys. Again, if you have any questions, leave those questions down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Until next time.